Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 6 of Great Amrita Alumni Conclave on Startup Scenarios in India. Great Amrita Alumni Conclave is a full fledged virtual webinar series spearheaded by the shining alumni of Amrita. These sessions are planned as a platform for every engineering aspirant to gather valuable information on all aspects of engineering and get to know the futuristic scope of the various streams in engineering. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite the speaker for today's session, Mr. Jithukrishna A, Managing Director, ENDURO Private Limited. He have completed his mechanical engineering from Amrita School of Engineering in the year 2020. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome you.
Hello, madam. Hi, friends. My name is Jithukrishna. I'm coming from Trivandrum district of Kerala. I've been running a startup company from for 2 years. I just started this startup soon after completing my BTech in mechanical engineering stream from Amrita Vishwavidyalaram. And so I was asked to share my experiences and views on startup scenario in India. Anyways, I'll make sure that I will be conveying something very informative and like something inspirational maybe, because I just picked some random examples of several startups that had succeeded and later on become unicorn startups. So we'll just start on with the presentation very soon. Before that, I'll just brief about myself and my company. I'm actually so far I just started just for 2 years. The startup has been just set up for 2 years, so it's not that long time experiences. We have just registered in April 14th of 2021. Like the startup is in ongoing process. So we got funding from Nidhi Praya scheme through Amrita TBI. So here I'm just giving my perspectives and opinions on the startup scenarios in India. In this session, we'll include some other startups which already got succeeded in India and the as key elements to begin the startups. The essence that you have to keep with you whenever you just plan to start a startup and all. So those are the things which we'll discuss today. And I came to know that the audience in this particular session will be like from 10th standard, 11th standards, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So for 10th standard students, they will be having one more step to climb before their graduation. And for the higher secondary students, you will be choosing your graduation course, and you have to choose your stream which you have to pursue. So make it a wise decision. Don't go for the general perspectives. Just make sure that the things which you choose is something you are more obsessed with, or the things which you like to take as a professional job. Because when you are so obsessed with your subject, you will not feel it difficult to study and continue with your course, and later on you can build your smooth career in same course itself. So try to build your degree in the course which you like the most, rather than going with the general perspective and public opinions and all. So that's about the brief suggestions that I can give. And for basically for running a startup or a business, you don't need any qualifications. There is no mandatory qualifications, but still it's always preferable to take a degree before starting a startup, because you will be you will know why you just wanted to undergo a degree course before start building something, or before starting a business. You have to make sure that you have a valid degree with yourself, because if you need to make it into a extreme level, or if you need to make it all countrywide and worldwide, you have to make sure that you follow the entire procedures, regulations. Along with that, we need to know sufficient knowledge. And because if you have knowledge and confidence, you can start a startup with in any sector. Regardless of whatever sector you need, you can choose, whether it is in automobile, robotics, or in any streams which you like the most. You can select like IT, and even health sectors are also providing a lot of startups. So you can choose which startup you want to choose. And which stream you would like, which sector you would like to register your startup, and then you can continue. You have to make a further research study should be there, and then you can do these startups. Okay, so we'll just switch on to our presentation. We'll I'm just talking very extensively. It's like not too much deep into it. So later on, these informations you can polish yourself, and you can dig deep into it, and you can refer the keywords from this, so that later on, because currently you are at the stage where you are going to continue your higher studies and all. After that, when you have a plan, these kind of informations will be useful. So you can just dig deep into those kind of keywords, and later on you can just study about all those kind of items, and whichever things you feel comfortable in your domain. And now we'll just know about the general aspects of this particular startup in our country. Why and how is the question that I've chosen. Like because we are going to start the presentation. So as we are going to start the presentation, we need to understand that why this startup, why do we need startups in our country, and how do startups begin. These both these things we have to know. So why do we need startups in our country? Because why are this government supporting startups in every countries? Why does government appreciate these startups? It's because these new jobs. Is it because of new jobs? Definitely, it is because of new jobs. Because the startups are providing a high amount of jobs in a country per year, like more than like I will come out with statistics later. But currently, you just understand that the startups provide a lot of job opportunities, and under with minimum amount and all, which automatically what this when they create new jobs, obviously this will reduce the unemployment rate, because currently in our country there are a lot of people getting passed out each year, and it's very hard for them to get employed in some company. So this will reduce the unemployment, because they will be having less idle hours. We have to kill the idle hours. We should not have a person who is having an idle hours. So for killing that idle hours, these startups will be useful. So employing in some startup companies, new job opportunities are available in every startup companies. So try to pursue, like after completing the course, try to take these kind of jobs, because this will boost your intelligence and skill, and further you can go in some other multinational companies, because these startup companies are always a bridge between educational course and the multinational company. So you can always consider the startups once you complete the professional degree course, or else you can start a startup. Both are appreciative. So coming to the point about new jobs, it reduces unemployment directly, and new products and services. This is what countries are looking for. New products and services are something which the startups boost in our country. New innovative products are made. You know how drastically the technology is changing after every 5 years. It's very drastic. We are seeing pandemics in between, so new products are in, like doctors assisting robot, and the temperature sensors, different type of temperature sensors, and automatic hand sanitizers. Different type of items are developed. Autonomous robots are made in like COVID healthcare centers and all. So these products are innovative products which are made by the startups in health sectors. So we should understand that in our country, as the technology is getting drastically changed, and the situations and everything is changing after every 5 years. So this product should also be product should also undergo proper research and development, and should undergo some innovative products. Should come up with some innovative products after every 5 years. It is like it is very essential in our country. So that is why the country is boosting the startups in our startups. So new products and services which automatically increase the economy of the country. As we know, we all are the part of the country where we know we should make sure that our country is having a higher economy. So the country's economy will also be increased when we make new products and services, and when we sell it, so that a country's economy will also increases. So Now we come to know that why do we need startups in our country, because it have two very important factors about reducing the unemployment and increasing the economy through providing new jobs and new products and services. And now we come up to how do startups begin. It's like a very glimpse. How do startup begin? Very glimpse in 2 points. Like, begins as an idea. Always startups begins as an idea. You can't directly take some existing thing and go into the startup procedure directly, because it's not possible. It requires a lot of thinking process. Thought process are always available, always required in this beginning of a startup. So always startup begins as an idea. You will be having an idea in your hand, and you will like you have to think about that idea, and further thought process you have to again dig deep into it, think too much. Finally you will be coming up with some solution. We'll just go about how to start a startup. Before that, these 2 points are the essential thing. Begins as an idea, then it grows as a viable product or a platform or a service. So all the services are also like a startup only. Like, some startup company provides service rather than product. Our company is we make retrofitted e-kits for the conversion of engine category vehicle into electric. We make the conversion kits. We'll come about our company's product later. Like, at the tail end of the presentation, we'll come about our product. But our work is actually product. It's not a service. So it can be either product, platform, or a service. So now we'll go to how do startups works, how this startup works, and all. It's like very extensively. I am just mentioning about all these kind of things. Like, it's like you have to later on polish all these kind of informations later on. When once you are in a stage where you are going to start a startup, you can dig deep into it, because all currently you just need to understand all these as a keywords, and then generalized idea you should keep in your mind how the startup works. And now that will be useful for your uh, pursuing your graduation course. It will be useful. You can select the stream. While studying itself, you can learn different application level problems, because converting theories into practical is what you should learn in your course, in your professional degree course. Always the converting the theories into practical is very much essential. You can't do anything with theories. That stage, there is a stage where you have to convert all the studied theories into practical applications. Then only it will be useful for the country or the society, or you can have a better life. So career is very important. Whenever you, what all things you will study in your career, when in your professional degree course, should be used. So how do the startups work? We are coming back to the topic, how do startups work. Starting from the very base thing, we'll see how this startup works. When we are simply thinking, how do these companies bring up with several ideas, how do these ideas are generating? First, like, before idea, there is a stage called finding a problem to solve. Based on your knowledge, you have to find a problem to solve, or you have to just be aware about what is happening in the society. As this pandemic comes, there's a problem to the society. So what we can do to avoid the pandemic? We can't do anything, because it's a virus and it's getting mutated. So that's another different health sector. But as an engineer, under my stream, under my domain, what I can do what I can do to solve a particular problem, that's what we have to know. So there are a lot of problems which will be in our society. Definitely, there are lots and lots of problems which are unsolved in our country. So find a problem to solve this. Solve that does not already have a solution. Obviously, there are a lot of problems in our country which have which are unsolved. So find a problem. That's the first step. It can be anything. I just kept up image of just you can just see the image where the plastics are dumped up in a particular situation, one particular place. Actually, it is actually very harmful to the environment. About how harmful the plastics can be. So a proper method about this plastic management can be done. Like, I just simply, for example, for understanding, I'm just keeping an example. That's all. It's not like you have to go with all these kind of things. You can think there are like boundless. You can't think. You should think beyond the boundary. So it's always like infinite. You can't find definite, finite questions or finite problems. There are infinite problems. You have to find out what you can solve, because based on your skill, based on your caliber, you have to find out. And now we come to know that we have to find a problem, and that problem is the key of our service or product. Because once we are going to make a product, we need to solve the problem completely, because further later lot of loopholes will be there in our product, which will be solved by some other engineers, and they come into the market defeating our product, which we already know. Because you can see Facebook wasn't the first social media platform. There was an Orkut before Facebook, and other platforms were there before like Facebook. 2 3 social media platforms were there. Why didn't they succeed? Why Facebook succeed? Why Facebook is number one? It's because they didn't find the market, they didn't find the problem, they just find the loopholes in the existing model, and they solve the loopholes, and they come up with better platform, social media platform, so that people can access more freely and very helpfully. Now in the world, you can see very few number of people are not using Facebook, very few people. So that much level the Facebook had changed. It's all because of finding the loopholes in some other product. So always your solution to the problem should be clean. It should not have any loopholes. Obviously there will be some loopholes, but later on you should only iterate it, and you have to keep research and developing development your product. And now it is the found, as I already mentioned, that it is the foundation of your startup's mission. And now we can see in the right side, the second picture, you can see from A to B, it's actually the problem of transportation remains the same while the solutions evolve. From A to B, if a person need to travel from A to B, still there are problems, because initially the people used to walk, then the animals came in came in as a solution, and then the vehicles had been developed, and then the metro, like fast moving items, had been developed and come into the society. So the technology changed, but still the problem of transportation remains the same. People are getting further more problems, so they have to find out something new. So hyperloops came, a lot other further more technology will be developed. So it will be remaining the same, but eventually lot more technology is going to happen in the society. So we should understand that if our domain belongs to this particular sector, then we have to work on it, and we have to find something for it, because this is also a problem. This always remains as a problem to the country, or to the people. Now we will move on to the second point, determining the solution. First, we come to know that it's understanding the problem, or finding the problem, and now you have to determine the solution to the problem, because every problem has a solution. So work with others or brainstorm on your own to determine a viable solution to the problem, because you have to find out the solution for the problem that you have find out. For example, if the plastic is the dumping of plastic in some particular area is making the environment issues, then you have to find out a problem how this plastic can be managed. So for managing the plastics, there are several technical the technology had been developed in different manners to solve this particular problem. They have been changed back to the crude oil form. A lot of the things had been happened, but it should be done very legally. This, it should not have any other side effects or harmful effects. It should not be happening once you do this particular project. So find the solution very clearly and analyze the competition to ensure that your idea has not developed already. This is the most important point. When you find a solution, you should make sure that it should be very unique. What this unique stands for, it should be your own solution. It should not be found out by somebody else's, because you should find a unique and effective product. Why this effective is happening, I already mentioned about the Facebook story. Because when you have loopholes, obviously some other technology startups will come and defeat your product, and they will be leading the society. When they lead the society, you have to step back, definitely. So make sure that you bring up with an unique product that have your own ideas, your own your steps, your theories that you have studied. You have to research so hard and work so hard to find a solution, and that solution should be very simple. It should not be complicated. it should be very simple to the society, because society always accepts simple solutions and cost effective and economical solutions they will be approaching. So obviously keep those points where society demands for. Society always having some common mindset. So target about those kind of criteria where which society demands. And now we come to know about determining the solution for the problem that you have find out. And now about creating a proper business plan. Why do we need a business plan for a startup? Because you find out a problem and you just come up with a solution to the problem, and you have to implement it as a startup. How do you implement it as a startup? How do you launch a startup with this solution? It should be your concept, and you have to undergo a lot of guidelines before like you have to run the startup, because for 5 years or 3 years you should clearly have a strategy how you are going to execute it. It's always appreciative if you are having backup plans like A plan, B plan, C plan. It's always appreciated to have those backup plans, because we are not superhuman beings, so we are not gods who can predict the contingencies which is going to happen, or the circumstances will not be favorable to you all the single time. So you have to find out a proper business plan. You have to take how the society can change worse. You have to predict the negative impacts which is going to happen, and find out what if this happens, and you have to find a B plan option, because always this B plan is important. B plan also always stands for business plan, but here I am just telling the secondary plan. And create guidelines and the strategies. How do you make the strategies? When you make strategies, you have to make sure that who are all there as in this particular field for your competition. Maybe there are 10 to 20 different companies will be there with the same solution, or with some difference in your like there will be some different ideas or some different plannings and all. But you have to make sure that in the same sector, based on some automobile sector or a health sector or a robotic sector, you have to make sure that how many competitors are there along with you, and find out their weakness, and then what all areas where they are strong, and make sure that you promote your company at the highest rate. We'll come to that. What the marketing, will come to that later. But here we have to understand very simply that we have to make a business plan. That's why I just mentioned the second image, that an idea, if it works, you have to make a business plan. If that business plan is going to give you money, if it going to create revenue, then it is success. You can keep the business plan. If not, what else? That's the option, because always you have to think about, if not, like if this not go successfully, then what else you have to implement for instead of that. You have to have that backup plan. Now at least you get some idea about business plan, because business plan is not something simple as what I said right now. It have its own complications. It requires a lot of study. It's not simple as whichever things I have told right now. So I'm just going extensively, I'm not digging deep into it. So these are like third step for starting a startup. Now the fourth step, and it's one of the important step, one of the key elements: obtain funding. You need a proper funding before starting a startup, because always startups are like seed, like newborn seed. Like you have to, it's a newborn baby and it's a seed. You have to grow into a plant, or you have to grow into a human being. So for that you need a lot of money as the initial. It can be either bootstrapped, like investments from families and friends. You can just bootstrap money, and you can bootstrap the money and you can start the venture. Or else there are personal save. If you had worked in some companies for 5 to 6 years and you had some savings with you, so with that savings also you can start the startup. You can take loans. Banks will definitely give you loans, but make sure that always you are in control with all your loans. And these kind of this crowdfunding is also available. Angel investors are also available. The investors who can, like angel investors and crowdfunding, they will invest in your company with some clause. They will be demanding you with some share of your company, or maybe asking some profit from your company. Obviously, they will be investing for some reason. Nobody is going to give you for free. So venture capitalist is something like very important to this particular funding procedures. Who funds the company every year? You can approach venture capitalists for funding. They will also VCs. They are known as the VCs, venture capitalists or VCs. They will also provide proper funding for the company in the initial stages. So you can take funding from any of these kind of procedures, but always personal savings and investment from your friends and families are less riskier compared to the all other things. Now we are going to move on to the fifth point of how to start a startup. Make a team. This is the second most important element of a startup, because if you are not like, imagine that if you have to do something, you have to achieve something, if it's not a one person company, if it's a private limited company, or if it's a company with a lot of people involved in it, obviously it's always appreciated to have a team, because you can do a lot of things. You can together everyone can achieve more. That's what team stands for. You can do more things, you can complete more things, and you are having less pressure. Your problems can be distributed among your team members. So always team is very important, and a team, like-minded individuals, like, everybody should have a single motive for the particular startup. Everybody should be as committed as you are. Everybody's goal should be your goal, because everybody should work for each other, and this team is always important in every place you work. The team is very important. If it's a project in a school, if it's an international team, if it's a sports team, cricket team, football team, every team, if you work, team should be like-minded individuals, and you should be very much comfortable in your team, because always team is very important. You can't, it's like this, you can't go without a good team, or a proper team, or the team which is comfortable for you to work. Because when you imagine that you are all in a boat, and you are all rowing in different directions, you will not reach the destination, because success is not a destination, it's always a journey. You have to keep your vehicle moving, you have to keep your journey moving. So if you are not rowing in the same direction, or if you are not moving in the same direction, obviously you will not move. So that's a very important point, and highlight a point you have to keep in mind. Always be very selective, highly selective while making a team, and determine how big of a team you will need for a startup. That's also a very important point. You don't need a lot of people for doing a small thing. So what you're going to do, you first understand how many people you need, and the support that you need, and how many people can be used for this product. Like, imagine that for pushing a car, how many people you need for pushing a car, like based on the car's weight and the place where the car is located, how much inclination is the car is placed, you get an idea how much force you have to apply onto the particular car to push the vehicle. So you need that much number of people to push that car. So you will select 5 people who can apply their hands on the cars to push. You will not take what if you have 20 people, you take 20 people to push the car? No use, because even though it will move, but it's not required. They are excess, they are having idle works. So always make sure that you choose the team based on your need for your startup, and always those team members should be like-minded individuals. Again, this is very important point, second most important point for a startup. And now coming to the office space and website. So this is like appreciative, but you don't need this every time. But it's also very you will feel that confidence in yourself whenever you have an office space and website. You will keep yourself updated to the public. You can market it easily. You can have a work, if you have a workspace where you come and work, you will understand that this is your job, and you have to keep working and keep moving. So obviously this office space and websites are appreciative, but it's not mandatory every single time. But this is going to help you in lot other aspects. So physical address and website is needed to be considered legitimate, and website should be user friendly. That's very important point. The website that you create should be very much user friendly. If public can't access your website very easily, then what's the use of the website? because you are not going to use the website every time. The public is going to use. Public should come to your company through your website. So the website should be completely user friendly towards the public. So that website should have a proper UX. And physical address can be a office space, retail space, or any physical property you own. This is for the legalization. Okay, I just simply kept as a point because you just can register your company in with like the property you own, or the property you lease, or the retail space, or any other physical property, or in the startup mission offices are providing space for you to start your venture, or the TBAs or the incubation centers are providing you offices, so you can sit in any places. So that doesn't matter the work how much you do, because I just always go this understand that these kind of things are least considered, but still it have its own value. And now we'll move on to the invest in effective marketing, which I mentioned earlier, how effective the marketing should be, because marketing is like the other hand or the next side of a particular coin. You have to understand that this is also very important. Like everything is important, but like I already mentioned about how good a team should be, and it's a second most important element. And this in effective marketing is also very important. Like in top five elements, it will be also there in top five elements. It have some relation similarities within the B plan and business plan and all. So find types of marketing you are like you will be having here the target audience. What is this target audience in your sector? If you imagine that you are going to make a car, you will have a particular audience. Like the target audience can be different for different sectors. So you have to find out which sector you choose, and you have to find the target audience. For example, if you are making a doctor assisting robot, the doctors are the target audience. So you will understand what all the things the doctors need. You can take surveys, the demands of the doctor, and what all things they they decide to have in their own product. So you understand all these kind of things, and you have to make your marketing in that particular aspect. Those people, those audience should come to you without pushing them. Like they should themselves come to your company to purchase your product or take your service. So that is target audience. Like you have to find the types of marketing based on the target audience that you are having. Like if in different sectors the target audience are different, so that the type of marketing should also be different. So you need to find what kind of marketing you can do. Is it a social media digital marketing you can do, or maybe the marketing in person you can do, mouth publicity you can give. So anything, effective marketing is very important for a product and a service, and be an expert in that particular marketing. That's a second step. First step is to find that marketing strategy for the particular target audience. And second step is that you have to be expert in the particular marketing strategy. You have to be expert. Like nobody should defeat in you in the marketing. You can just keep a separate marketing officer in your company. The marketing officer will take care of the marketing in a company, so that the marketing officer will look around the other companies, your competitors, how they are marketing. Then you have to market it more. So it's a very competitive field. You have to keep yourself updated in the marketing level. The people's mind level, thinking level will be changing, so you have to keep accordingly. But obviously for marketing also money is required. So based on the your budget, based on your business plan, you have to do this marketing. You can't spend all your money in marketing, because it will be some other you will go bankrupt, or you will be in a losing side if this doesn't work out properly. So make sure that you put proper money in marketing, enough money. And better marketing tactics are more likely you are to attract customers. It's like simple as the image that I've shown. If your marketing strategies and ideas are perfect, even if your product is worse, also people will come to you. That's the fact. That's the general idea. So marketing is very important. And the strategy that I have mentioned here: quality, efficiency, cost. This is a strategy involved in every sector of the marketing. If it's a robot, if it's a product, if it's a service, if it's automobile, what all sector it belongs to, the strategy is same. People will look for the quality. Most of the people look for the quality and efficiency, and the cost should be down, like it should be very economic. So these three things are the basic thing for every sector. So while doing the marketing, make sure that you follow these guidelines. Like it should be having a proper quality, it should be having an efficiency. You can see different advertisements in the YouTube or the digital platform that you are watching. There are a lot of advertisements. They will be boosting the quality of their product and services and efficiency of the product, and they will be telling in fine as a tail end they will be telling that it's very cheaper. So make sure that all these 3 points are also a part of effective marketing. And I will be moving to the building the customer base and the foster the relationship. How to build a customer base and how to foster the relationships. It's like this: you have to attract customers and encourage them to purchase. Okay, like you have to find a proper customer base. Like you can just take Toyota in the automobile field. You can find that they are having a proper customer base. They'll be upgrading their vehicle into their own company. Like if they have a Toyota Innova previously, they'll be updating their vehicle to Toyota Fortuner. Like if the person is rich, or they recently they come up with Baleno rebadging with Maruti. So all those kind of items they can do to build a customer base. They have to keep their customer base as it is and keep fostering their relationship, like through word of mouth publicity and attracting new customers. And continuously you have to make sure that you keep the relationship with your customers. Customers are always the god for business entrepreneurs. Now, stay committed to your purpose. It is very difficult step to have. It's not that simple to have, because it's the process is so long and tedious. So you success is not at all always guaranteed. You may not find success in very initial stages. So you have to stay yourself very calm and composed. The process is very long. You should believe in yourself. You should believe in your quality. More you are committed to it, more likely your company is to withstand hard times. Hard times will definitely come. And it's like the initial steps of every venture is very hard, but once you cross the initial step, the farthest the steps after that will be very simple. Like you can take 10 steps in the time that you take the first step. But it's not like it's you will not reach a destination as you see in the image. You will not reach a destination because it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. Success is always a journey. So now this is the last step that you have to keep, and very important, last but not the least, which very important thing, you have to stay committed to your purpose. What all things you keep in your mind while you start the startup, it should be inside you. It should be the fuel inside you. You should feel that spark throughout the journey. The first spark should not go off. You should keep refueling it at proper intervals. Whenever you fuel down, you go down, you have to fuel it up. Okay. Now we'll talk about something compliances, like the legal side of every startups. Because in our country, if you have to do something, it should be legal, or it should be like approved by the government and the public, because it should not go beyond the regulations of the country. So these are the basic. I'm not going deep into this all kind of points, but I'm just I'm just briefing about all these kind of type of registration, because these are like again deep into this particular startup scenario topic. But now we will just brief it, like comparing between 2 to 2, and we have 6. We will compare between 2 to 2. Sole proprietorship I will compare with 1% company. Partnership will compare with limited liability partnership, and private limited will compare with public limited. Now we'll move on to the sole proprietorship and 1% company. What is sole proprietorship and what is 1% company? Sole proprietorship is very simple. Every one of you know that it's like a simple shop that you can open. If you have some groceries, if you have some anti-crafts, something like that, you can sell it to the public through your shop. For running a shop, you don't need to have a formal registration. Registration can be done. It's an optional process. It's not there is no formal registration. You will not be a separate legal entity, because you are just registering as a sole proprietorship. You are the owner, single owner of your venture. This have unlimited liability. You mark the fourth point. It's unlimited liability in the sole proprietorship. What is the dangerousness in this unlimited liability is because you will be answerable to all the debts the your venture is for. Like if suppose that your shop owes, or if your shop have to pay some amount to somebody, you should pay the money from your own property, or the property that you are having, or in the name of your like the properties that you have that are registered in your name may go bankrupt. So all those kind of problems are there in the sole proprietorship. You will be risking your liabilities, and it's like unlimited liabilities are there. You will not be in a free situations, because everything you are investing by yourself. You don't need any, you can't take any funding from some other companies, unless other than loan you can't take any other investing from other some other firms and all. It's like a very less compliances involved item. Like, it will not be having some. What is this compliances? Compliances is nothing but the legal procedures that you have to follow, the regulations that you have to follow while running a startup. That's what compliance stands for. So less compliances are there. You don't need to think about too much of compliances while running this sole proprietorship. It's very simple as it is. And its setting up cost is also very low. You only need 2,000 rupees to start a sole proprietorship as approximate amount. And it's not a legal entity, and you can put any name. If you need to put like Tony Stark, you can simply put Tony Stark the name. You don't need to make sure that this name is unique and this name is not there in some other company. You don't need to find about all those, because sole proprietorship have no name approval is required. You can put any name, is fine. And for one person company, it's not like that. It's like limited liability. It's not unlimited liability. You don't need to worry about your liability, because if the company's account and company's the debt and everything relating to the company is companies, and everything relating to yours is yours. You don't need to pay the company's debt, because it's completely a separate legal entity. You are registering at a separate legal entity, and there should be one director and one nominee director, because something happens to the director, the entire share should go to somebody. So that's why we keep a nominee director always, and one director and one nominee director. And audition, or the auditing is required, and the annual compliances. There are further more compliances compared to the not furthermore. There are a lot of compliances involved when compared to sole proprietorship, like annual filings, GST returns. A lot of things are there, and the setup cost is nearly approximately 8,000 rupees. So that's all about one-person company. I'm just increasing the pace, but still it's all about two type of entity. One is sole proprietorship and one is one-person company. Both have one person involved in it. One is less compliance involved, one is like a lot of compliance involved. One is like a separate legal entity, and second one is like not a separate legal entity. One, you don't need to worry about your own property and other items, but in other situations you have to risk your you just have to risk your own debt, like your own property and your own like you have to pay the debts of the company. That's all. And now about the partnership and the limited liability partnership. It's like when compared to, well, first we'll talk about the partnership. We talked about sole proprietorship earlier. What is sole proprietorship? It's like a simple shop that you open by yourself. You are the god of that particular shop. But now you have a companion with you. You have a person along with you. With that person, you are starting this partnership firm. And this limited liability partnership is like you will be like we'll come to limited liability partnership secondly. It's called LLP. We'll come to LLP later. Secondly, first we'll finish with this partnership. Partnership is almost similar to this sole proprietorship, but the only difference is that the partners are on age and principal relationship. You have a is it audible now? One second. Yeah. Okay. Shall I continue? Okay. So it's like a partnership and limited liability partnership that we were talking about. The partnership is all about it's nearly similar to the sole proprietorship, but the only difference is that partners are involved in the particular thing, and you have an auditing required only if your company's turnover goes above 25 lakh, and less compliances are there in, because you have GST returns you have to do if your entire imagine that 25 lakh is exceeded, then you have to do the GST returns, and the rating items you have to do, and minimum of 2 members and maximum of 20 members are allowed in this partnership firm. It's like partners are doing a venture. It's not like sole person. The partners are doing the venture, and there is no separate registration for that. You can do the registration, but no need for the, you can put any name is also fine, but the risking your liability. If the company is in some debt, means you have to pay the debt. So for partnership firm, what you can do is you can go with the limited liability partnership if you don't want to risk your personal savings or the personal properties. You can go with limited liability. So that's the only difference coming towards the limited liability partnership. Other than this partnership, you are only having limited liability, and the minimum 2 and maximum of 100 members, like 20 was there in partnership, but now it's changed to 100 in the limited liability partnership, and auditing is required if the turnover goes above 40 lakhs rupees, and the compliances are there. Compared to the partnership, there are more compliances, annual filings, GST returns, board meetings also may be there, so it's also different. Like nearly to private firm is 30,000, and suppose for limited liability partnership is 8,000. That 5,000 rupees is difference in these two particular venture, but not the 5,000 rupees. You have to do lot of compliances for limited liability when compared to the partnership. Partnership is very easy to set up, and when compared to the limited liability partnership.
Kiran, is it a network issue?
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Actually, there is less voltage fluctuations are happening. I don't know. So sorry for the interruptions. And
Jithu, you can continue. Jithu, you can continue. Can you hear me?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Again, sorry for this interruptions. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is public limited. I already talked about private limited. It's like some other extension of limited liability partnership. We stopped to limited liability partnership in the previous minute. So it's like limited liability partnership when turned into a private limited entity have, but it is a entire different entity, like it's private limited entity. It's like our company is registered as private limited entity. You need a formal registration. Formal registration is required, and you need a name must be properly approved. Your name should be very unique. Your same name should cannot be used. You can't use Tata. You can't use Maruti. You can't use Suzuki. All those names are already registered entities, so you can't use that name. So you have to make a unique name relating to your sector. That is also a challenging thing, because you can't choose your desired name and all, and it's a separate legal entity. You have a limited liability that your personal properties and savings will not go into this particular venture. If the bank, if you have private limited company owes somebody, and minimum of 2 and maximum of 200 members are allowed, but it's not, I already mentioned that increasing the number will not give you quantity, always doesn't give you anything. It's a quality that you have to focus on. You have to make sure that if your venture needs 10 people, take 10 people. If your venture needs needs 5 people, take 5 people. For venture needs only 2 people, just take 2 people. That's the reason why all these kind of private limited entities regulations are flexible from 2 to 200. You only need to choose which you need to do. It's not like that you have 200 slot, you can put 200 members along with it. It may be a burden to you later on. So always make sure that you choose the needed people, and then coming towards the share, it can be transferred to your funds. And I am not going deep into it because private entity will not be finished within the. It's like a lot of other procedures are also there to complete this private entity. A lot of complaints are there, annual filings, board meetings, GST returns. You should need a CA or a company secretary involved in your company who takes care of all these items and all. Because for private limited company, you need a person who take care of your business. You need a person who take care of the compliances. You need a person who runs the technical head. So all these kind of three different domain, different sectors of a single company should be managed simultaneously. So you should sit in the top of all these three people, and you have to monitor and just see whether everything is working very smoothly or not. That's what you have to do when you start a private limited company. And its setup cost is approximately 10,000. It's like for one person. If two-person is registered, for two-person is registered, minimum two-person is required. So they kept as approximately 10,000 is like for 5,000 share will be there. Like it depends upon how much. If 50-50 share is there for in a company, one person have 5,000, one person have 5,000. So putting 5,000 in a company, your company is having a 10,000 as the setup cost, as the capital, and that capital you have put 5,000 each, so that you have 50% share of the company. If you put 10% in that particular firm for 10,000 rupees, one person is putting 1,000 rupees, so a person will be having 10% share in the company. That is the way of share transfer in this particular private limited company. And public limited company is the company which involves the public is involved along with this. Like it can be the share can be transferred to any single person. And the setup cost is like depends upon various factors, because public limited companies are like companies which is for public, like resorts or the tourism involving items and all. So it have a limited liability, that's for sure. You have a minimum, you need just minimum number of members, not maximum. You can infinite members are available. So only you are having a minimum members are there for the public limited company. It is a separate legal entity. Name must be approved. Formal registration are also there. Nearly to private limited, lot of procedures are same, but the difference is that the setup cost is completely different. It depends upon the many factors. We don't need to go into that for now. So we'll come up to the Indian startup ecosystem. India has the third, like it's like the entire different. We already come up with 9 different ideas to start a startup. Then we come through the registration items, different type of registration, starting from sole proprietorship to the public limited company. We just discussed about the different type of registrations. Now we move on to the Indian startup ecosystem. The Indian startup ecosystem is like the facts and statistics that I'm going to talk about the startups in India for now. India has the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. Okay, and India has about 50,000 startups in 2018 and 60,000 startups in 2021. So we know that in our country 60,000 startups are there. So our country is having 8,900 to 9,300 technology-led startups. The tech startups are there. In this 50,000 in 2018, in this 50,000 startups, 8,000 to 9,000 startups are technology-led startups, like tech startups. It's not something related to the entertainment or something like Netflix or something. Those are the startups which are not tech startups. So tech startup is having 9,300 tech startups are there. In this 9,300 tech startups, which is implementing that, 2 to 3 tech startups are born every single day. Like every day, the new 2 to 3 tech startups are getting born. That means that you today maybe 3 to 4 tech startups have been born. Like it's like growing that in that pace. So in a year, you can find out like 50,000 startups in 2018, 60,000 startups in 2021. You can understand the startups growth per day, the registration of a startup per day. And the most interesting fact, and the fact that you have to know, is that Bangalore has been listed the world's 20 leading startup cities in the 2019 Startup Genome Project ranking. In the particular project ranking, the Bangalore has been listed the world's 20 leading startups, and I will show you the reason why this Bangalore has been which is one of the leading startup in the top 20 cities. This is the reason. In India, you can see the Karnataka district where the Bangalore belongs have 418 startups. Okay, because this is statistics based on 2021. So you can see in Karnataka there is 418 startups when compared to the second Maharashtra, where Bombay, Pune is having. So in Maharashtra, 276 startups are been there. So in Gujarat there is 93, UP there is 99, Delhi 175, Haryana 94. So in Kerala 62, Tamil Nadu 75. You can see in remaining other states are having 139 startups. These are the major startups states in our country. So in these states we are having these much startups. So altogether we will be having some kind of startups which I have already talked about earlier. So we can know that in India, Karnataka is the state which is producing most number of startups, and in Karnataka, Bangalore is the city which is promoting more startups. That's very general facts which I'm talking about. And now we'll just move on to the some keywords like incubators and accelerators are some keywords which I'm just talking like the keywords like it's like you will learn once you come up with all these kind of ideas like later on whenever you come up with these ideas when you are just starting the startup you come to know about these incubators and accelerators. So what is that? I'll just give a glimpse about all this. Incubators are somebody who gives you money because they are incubation. You know what incubation is for. Incubators are there for newborn babies. So what these incubators are providing, they will provide you funding, they'll give you peer support, they will give you some resources, they will have a the proper mentor session will be there, you'll be guiding through something, and restrictions will also be there, depends upon the like restrictions are like they will not take every single person. Everybody can't apply for the incubation because of the criteria about incubators. What these incubators are like, can you have heard about the terms like TBI, technical business incubators. Those are they are providing incubation for technical startups. So you can apply for the start technique. They will be asking you to pitch your idea and project. You have to pitch. Once they approve it, you will be getting incubation that particular TBI. So all those are relating to the incubators. But when coming to the accelerators, it's very short month program. You will be getting a 3-4 month program, and large mentor driven business network will be there, like will be boosting, like it's accelerators maybe another company which is boosting you high pace, but they are asking for some profit. They will be taking some share of your company, they will be giving you some funding, and they will be giving you some resources, and they will be taking profit out of your the revenue that you are generating. While incubators are not for profit, they are for supporting. Many governments are supporting incubators, many private organizations, our college is providing incubations, like the Amrita TBA is also available. A lot of colleges or universities are providing incubators. So incubators and accelerators are as simple as this is. And now we'll move on to the unicorn startup. It's again a simple keyword that you have to understand. What is unicorn startup? Unicorn startup is nothing but it's like I think in the net connection is again went down. No, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so unicorn startup is nothing but you will be termed as a unicorn startup whenever your company's value reach 1 billion US dollar. So when your company has a valuation of 1 billion US dollar, your company is termed as unicorn startup. It's like used in the term is mostly used in the venture capital industry, like the VC industry, where they provide funding and all. They are using these terms, whether this is a unicorn startup, whether it's not a unicorn startup. India currently is having 90 unicorns, like nearly now they are nearly approaching 100 unicorns. I think in 2022 we will be having 100 more than 100 unicorns, because each year more unicorns are getting developed. So we can, I'll just introducing some of the unicorn companies which most of you will be familiar. Grow apps, you can see in different YouTube advertisements. Grow up will be there. Different promotions are done through short films and all. And Paytm is another unicorn company in India. Byju's is the company which obviously you guys will be knowing. And Dream11 is again things which you will be heard of, like the IPL. Last year IPL has been title sponsored by Dream11, and these are the companies which is unicorn companies. Some companies, like a lot of companies are there, 90 companies are there. So I'm just mentioning some of them. And now I'm just going to talk about, as this is a startup scenario in India, I am just briefing about the top startups in India. Again, briefing only. We're not going deep into it. Cred is one of the top startup, which is founded in 2018, and you know about Cred. It's like where you can pay your credit card bills and get reward for it. Like some cashbacks and procedures will be there. Obviously, those who are using credit card will know what this Cred is because it makes your credit card payment more easier. Even banks are supporting this Cred, and 22% of the most credit card holders are now using this Cred app. It's like 2-year-old startup, but more than 6 million customers. See the growth of this company. That this is the reason because they are having high business plans. They are having most important team. Their team is very much effective. Their ideas are much effective. They have incredible work ratios. So that's the reason why they become successful in 2-year-old. And Byju's is the you already know, we don't need to talk too much into Byju's because Byju's is founded on 2011. It's by Byju Javindran and Divya Gogulnath. And Byju's is an educational tutoring app which obviously you guys might be using. And as of 2021, Byju is valued US dollar 21 billion and has over million registered students. And last India's title sponsor, they have been replaced with India's title sponsor. So see the level that these Byju's have grown in this very short span of time. And the Dream 11, I already talked about Dream 11 earlier. They had become during pandemic season, before pandemic 75 million users, after pandemic 100 million users. See the growth of the company, because we all play for Dream 11 when we see IPL and different sport events, because Dream 11 is using their marketing way. You can see the marketing strategies involved in Dream 11. You can just search for that. You can see how interestingly they attract the customers. And now we'll go to the Swiggy, which I think there will be. I think there will not be a person who don't know Swiggy, because Swiggy is like largest India's online food delivering platform, and it is founded in 2014, based in Bangalore. It operates 100 Indian cities and partnered with more than 50,000 restaurants, and it's also a unicorn company. And this is the reason why these companies are the top 10. These companies belong to the top 10 startups in India. Now we are going to the conclusion phase. Like the 5 essential elements that lead to success of a company is like what, it's not something I said or what I believe. It's obviously I believe in this because these are something which is said by Bill Gross in TED show. You can watch that TED show by Bill Gross. He mentioned this and that become very viral. Like he mentioned the different 5 essential elements that lead to success. And in these 5 elements, you already know what idea is, what a team is, what a business model is, what a funding is, what a timing is. But you might not be understanding what timing is. Funding, you know, business model, you know, team, you know, ideas, you know, but what timing you don't know. But the timing is the most important thing for every startup, and the timing is not in our hand. The circumstances is favoring this timing. So we'll talk about timing in very quick words. Like timing, like I'm taking like we have taken 200 companies, successful companies. We have taken 200 successful companies, and based on the top 5 factors, why these 200 companies become success. Timing is the reason. 42% we have timing, because 42% of timing is the reason for 200 company success, and only 32% I see team is second, and third comes idea, and fourth comes business, and fifth, like last, is funding. Even though if you are getting proper funding also doesn't mean that you will be successful. Even if you are having proper business model means you will not be successful. Even if you are having a good idea means you will not be successful. Even if you are having team, that's one of the important criteria. And the timing is the most important criteria that you have to keep in hand. Why? Because Airbnb is an American company that operates an online marketplace for lodging and primarily homestays for vacation rentals and tourist activities. Because you know what Airbnb is, that they similar to Oyo, they provide homestays and the room like vacation rentals are available by this particular Airbnb. But when they come into the industry, when they launched their company, there were a lot of investors who stepped back. They didn't fund this Airbnb because they don't find this as very interesting idea. The reason for this company success is neither funding, neither business model, neither idea, neither team. It's all because of timing. Because it is the perfect timing where the people need vacation rentals, tourism, and homestays. That is that, like, even you imagine, can you imagine people going for vacation rentals, tourism, homestays in 1980s? It is not possible. They bring this at some year which the age where the technology developed, the year maybe 2000, that year where people, technology developed and people come to more, they will be traveling in different places, they need vacation rentals, so that the timing is very important. So the one main reason for its success is timing. And we see another model like Uber. Why does Uber go successful? Yeah, obviously Uber is having great business model, good idea, great execution, and the timing was the key success of the Uber. Why? Because it was the time where drivers were looking for extra money and people seeking transport for public transport, because people need quick transport. So that's the reason why they avoid the public transport and they will choose for luxury transport. Obviously they can choose based on their economy. They can choose mini, micro, and even the sedan cars can be chosen. So the Uber depends on the customers. So obviously that idea was successful because that was the time where the drivers were looking for extra money. They were not satisfied with the money that they're getting. So that it's also because of some year gap, technological difference, because the economy has been high. So 2015 the petrol rate may be high. So every reasons the timing favored this Uber company. And even though it is having good business model, good idea, good execution, the timing was the key reason for this Uber success. And now the success of YouTube is because of another perfect timing. You already know how YouTube is and what YouTube is. It is a number one platform, entertainment platform. So entertainment company, we will talk about a Z.com entertainment company provided by Bill Gross. He just completely failed, even though they raised enough money, more than enough money they raised. They have a good business model, they have an incredible team, because they provided 1080p clarity videos. It's an entertainment company, like they provide a platform where you can watch videos. So Z.com, that was the company they launched, but they was launched in 1990s and nearly to late 1990s and the early stage of 2000s. So at that timing, even though they have everything, the broadband penetration, as you see recently, that because of network issue, obviously if the network is not in high speed, you are these kind of ideas, people can't access it very easily. Because I'm sitting in some place, if they are uploading in some other place, because of network issues I can't watch it very clearly. So broadband penetration at 1998 and 2000 was not very successful, like it was not that much effective. So even though they had a good product, even though they had a good business model, even though they have enough money, they failed because they launched at the bad timing. And 3 to 4 years later, on 2005, YouTube was launched. And at that time, this penetration, the broadband penetration problem was solved by America. And this YouTube launch was on 2005, perfectly timed. They come with at the right time when the America solved this broadband penetration problem, and they got successful. Even though they are also having good enough money, business model, incredible team, this was the reason for their success. And I'll conclude this particular session with by focusing on this perfect timing, because it is not in our hand, but we should have a vision to see the timing. Okay, you can see the electrical cars in 1990s had been the electrical cars has been there in 1990s, but they haven't been successful. It was they got successful at 2020s because the eradication of non-renewable resources. The renewable resources should come into play. So that was the reason why electrical car got into the market. So all those are the reason. The perfect timing is very important. Even though along with that you have a good team, you have to have a business model. This perfect time is also very important. And now we'll move on to like my company's films. Like we have like there are some bonds between Amrita TVA. So the idea cannot be like completely mentioned. So I just briefing it regarding that. We are making a Maruti 800 vehicle to electric. Maruti 800 is already an engine vehicle. We are converting it to electric. That conversion kit is our product. So before considering it as a product and selling it, we have to take the ARI approval. So for ARI approval, we are making the research and development study, and it's an ongoing phase. It's an ongoing phase, and we have successfully tested its first condition and second condition, like without any load and under some low load. And our industry is like automobile and renewable energy. And our final phase of like prototyping is going ongoing. We'll be finishing in a week or two. And you can see our website. You can go to our website. You can see if ENDUROInnovative.com is our website, and you can see if you what all things are there in the company. There are some other retrofitting e-kit is our primary purpose, but there are some other activities along with this. You can see it in our website. And I myself is Jithukrishna, and Parvati Menon is one of my other board of directors. And we have 7 to 8 shareholders in our company. Our company is registered as private limited entity. It's an ENDURO I Pvt Limited. We come under automotive and renewable energy, and our product is a retrofitting e-kit for Maruti 800. And that's all from my side for presentation. Thanking you and management for giving the opportunity for this session.
Thank you so much. Thank you for a very informative session, and really happy to see that you're starting your own venture. And can you just tell a few words on how Amrita have helped you to start ENDURO I?
Yeah, actually, I remember myself going for a competition in my third year. It was a competition for a go-kart competition, and I was very happy that I got the opportunity to lead the team in third year. It was a racing competition, but I failed at drastically. I failed, like I didn't even pass the technical inspection round, and in the final year, I go with an e-bike. I go for an e-bike competition with an electric bike. I got to 10th position in all India, but I got some other awards and all. So that I was happy with the result. And these two competitions build me and carve me into application level. Now I got the idea how to, like, not every idea, but some way I come to know that, like, how to implement the theories that you studied in your college life, in your professional degree, in your higher secondary school. Those theories can be utilized in as a practical applications. Like everything has to be practically used, so that all the theories that you learn have a practical view. So application should also be there along with your studies. So these competitions are much appreciative, and college appreciated these particular competitions. And because of college, I got the opportunity for attending these two competitions. And after my completion of my beta course, I thought of staying at the same domain. I don't like myself to switch into some other domain to IT. So I thought of staying at the same domain with this automobile and this mechanical domain. So that was one reason why I just started this startup. And second reason was I need to do some revolutionary project, like some projects which have to change the our particular this states item. Like Kerala is like less, like Kerala is like less compared to the other states regarding this automobile firm and all. There are no plans in Kerala regarding this automobile production and all. So that is the reason why I thought of seeing some scope, even though there are a lot of other procedures are there and a lot of other problems are there along with this, but still I find some vision towards that, and a lot of mentors are there for me to guide me through it. So like there is Dr. Ganesh Odupasa, the professor of Amrita College, he has been guiding me thoroughly through this journey. So, and I got funding from Amrita TBI. Through Amrita TBI, I got funding from Nidhi Prayas grant, and INR 10 lakh rupees I got funding, and the 10 lakh rupees is for converting our ideas into product. Prototyping, for prototyping you are getting the fund, so you have to make the prototype, you have to take the approval, and then you have to start making it as a product and sell it, like market it, and those other procedures have to continue after that. And this is the reason why I'm very happy with the college and Amrita TBI.
Thank you. Really happy to know that Amrita could help you through your journey. And so, yeah, thank you, students, for watching us today. That's all we have for you today. And today evening, we will be having the second session of this GAC, Great Amrita Alumni Conclave. So, we'll see you then. Thank you so much. Have a good day. You too. Thank you.
Best of luck.